Hello all and welcome to another video in my journey to 1 million Gamerscore series, and with September over it's now time to bring to you September part 2. Now at the end of September part 1 I did bring up the fact that life thrown a curveball at me which has restricted my gaming time down a hell of a lot, and I only got 1800 in the first half of the month, and in the second half of the month I said I'd try to adapt to the time that I do have and try to do a bit better. And obviously the fact that I ended up with just over 5,000 for the month means that I managed to over double what I'd got in the first half of the month, so I am adjusting to the time. However, I still want to do better. Does mean that getting to the 500,000 by the end of the year with what's little time of the year that we do have left is going to be difficult. However, I do have some ideas going forward to make these a little bit more interesting, as I'm not going to be getting as much Gamerscore, and I'm going to do some sort of experiments with playing certain types of games on either the 1 or the 360. Like, I do have a generic cheap sports title 2-week planned, possibly for the second half of October. I haven't quite got as many games as I want, even though I do have a low for the first half of October, so stay tuned for some plans going forward. I may throw an idea up for the first half of September. So here we go, let's crack on with the games and show you what I do have for the second half of September. And as I say, I did a little bit better than the first half. I've adapted to the time I had. I played played a few indie titles, and I cracked on with Forza Motorsport 6 and the NASCAR expansion. So I got quite a few there. Did pick up a couple of others along the way that weren't to do with expansion, like this one at the top here, go faster than 250 miles an hour in any car. I do have the Bugatti Veyron, and I decided to get this achievement using that car because it was capable of doing it just, and the Le Mans circuit has a really long straight in it, so I was able to nab the 25G achievement by specifically going into a single race on that track and then open her up when I got onto that very long straight. Because there's no corner coming up for ages, you'll get there and you won't have to brake for any corners, obviously. So obviously we've got all the NASCAR ones that I managed to finish off from the expansion pack. Did all the showcase events, I got them two there. Racing a NASCAR multiplayer hopper. The only NASCAR one I didn't get one, it was the League online. I couldn't find a League race to join, unfortunately. So just racing in a League race is not going to be got, unfortunately, even though it's as simple as just doing that. So I played the multiplayer hopper. That isn't a NASCAR expansion pack achievement, but I did get it because I hadn't played multiplayer in the normal mode. So I got the multiplayer for NASCAR and then got that little one for voting for a track. And as you'll see, I finished the World Tour. I think there is one other non-NASCAR achievement that I got. Obviously you get 50 miles, driving 50 miles on each specific car. Just remember to keep changing once you've got one. There's plenty of time and races to do that. There is finish 5 quick stop races. There's exactly 5 if you go through all of the expeditions and series, so you haven't got to worry about that. Everyone is a rolling start, so you'll unlock the rolling start one as well. And that's the other achievement that isn't to do with NASCAR that I got. Earned 50,000 credits from Driver Tires, so just playing the game, that will eventually come. It will take a bit of time. So as you'll see, I added a nice little chunk there. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head how much it was, but as you'll see, there's a nice little chunk there. But the achievements in Forza 6, despite them being easy, just don't come quick. You have to put a bit of time into it. When you haven't got a lot of time, maybe I shouldn't have really sunk as much time into that and boosted up the month as a total. But hey ho, it's done now. Main space shooter, top down vertical scrolling shooter. A lot of fun this one. I would say that 850 out of this is easy if you play it on easy mode, and obviously that makes it a lot easier. The only one that you're incapable of getting, I think, is the point scoring mode one, which I haven't got. This one here at the top is also tricky. Every time you shoot one of these ships that spits out a load of power-ups, you have to kind of keep an eye on the one that you haven't topped up. You press right bumper and you can view which power-ups that you haven't actually got at the bottom of the screen, because you can use right bumper to flip through them. So just keep a track of which ones aren't topped up, and then when these ships open up, make sure you pick up that specific symbol that you need. But in order to get some of these, like that 7,500 enemies killed, that has to be done in one run. It's not cumulative over multiple runs. So you can get it on easy, just you have to remember to shoot a hell of a lot early on. And then I must admit I did it with about half of the last level, maybe a little bit more to go. So 300,000 points can be reached, but if you play on easy, that's the one I'm missing. The 500,000 points one, basically. So if I play it again on normal, I may be able to nab that one. But as I say, with time, I just want to move on from games and play something else and get as much as I can out of it. So I may revisit this one day and get that achievement, but for now I'm going to be moving on and playing other stuff. So next after Mace, if we get a bit of loading going up, thank you, Aqua Kitty UDX Xbox One Ultra Edition. Now this was actually a lot of fun. I spent about 3 or 4 hours with this one night, on a night where I had time, and it's a little game where you're a cat in a submarine underwater. It's very reminiscent of an old game that I cannot remember the name of, a very retro game where things are trying to take your cats from the bottom of the ocean and lift them out of the water, and if you shoot them they'll drop back down while there's lots of other little enemies in it. You can go across the screen, out the other side, and come back in the other side. There's a map of the screen on there for you as well. It is very much a rip-off an old retro game I cannot remember the name of, so if you can remember the name of that game, please put it in the comment section below, because it's annoying the hell out of me. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of progressional achievements that you can get out of this. Some of the rare ones are obviously difficult that I have managed to get, and there's some that I haven't got that will take a lot of time. But as you'll see, a lot of these are accumulative. You don't have to get them in one run. Reach the chain bonus of 99 is going to be not too bad if you do this espresso mode in normal difficulty. Reaching wave 10 is very doable if you can get to wave 20, which is another achievement. Congratulations, because they are super tough. There's a hell of a lot of enemies that appear on screen. A lot of these you'll get through, like the cumulative ones, you'll get through by just playing through the normal mode, but that espresso mode is a great way of topping up anything you're missing if you can get through quite a few waves. That's what I mean. The things come down out of the roof and abduct the cats that are at the bottom of the ocean that you're trying to protect. Do that 100 times, that is achievement. And then, as I say, a lot of these are progressional ones, and ones that I haven't got, that destroy 50 wave fish, that can be done. I reached wave 20, so I obviously got to about wave 11 or 12. I'm on 55%. But there's a lot of these that aren't. I tried to do that with Trigger 3 bombs, and every time I got 2 together I couldn't get a third one near it. But a lot of this is just playing through. But some of it is difficult. This Dreadnought mode is like a map of a ship where you can destroy parts of the ship, and then you have to destroy the core in order to get through it. Each one that you get past is an achievement. I got through the first 2 and I thought these aren't too bad, then and then after that the difficulty really stepped up. Really fun little game actually. So honestly, 3 to 4 hours. I picked it up in the south for next to nothing, so if it pops up in the south for next to nothing, I would recommend just playing the game for fun, but you'll get a whole host of achievements out of it. You can probably get, as I say, if I return to play it for another hour or 2, I could probably get enough achievements to push me over half of it. So I would say if you play it for 5-6 hours, you'll get half of the game score out of this. With a bit of practice, you might do a lot better than me and get all of it. Okay, so above that's a very disappointing game. Now, Rock and Racing Off-Road DX has been in my library for ages. Was actually inspired to play it when I saw the Grand Prix version of this game pop up in the south for next to no money at all. I have played that as well, but I didn't unlock any achievements in it, so I did remove it from my profile. It's just that bad a game, I just didn't want to carry on with it. This one it's very much super off-road rip-off style, but the cars in it are super hard to control. You'll start off with one world, the one Cup, the North America Cup, and that'll be really easy, and you'll think, oh, this is alright. Next one will be relatively tricky, and you'll think, oh, that's alright. And then the third one, wow, the difficulty curve does step up, and unfortunately the cars handle horrifically. They bounce up and they just don't turn half the time when you land, and or the controller registers you turning one way and you'll go the other. It's really unfortunate, because it could have been so much more, but I was able to do the first 2 cups. I could have done the third cup after the game itself screwed itself over. Every car got caught up by the time I'd finished. If you finish, it puts a time on everyone else to finish. If they don't finish at the time, they get 0 points. And literally all 7 other cars got caught in a pile on the second to last race of the third track, and I finished it, and I was just like, I'm now second. All I got to do is beat the first car by 1 place actually, and I will finish that cup as well. And lo and behold, that car then run a near perfect race while I was struggling with the controls and I didn't get it. Time trial is basically unlocked by unlocking all the tracks in this championship mode here. Obviously the first one is open already. I did manage to finish the first one's time. You basically do all 4 tracks and 2 laps of it in this, and I managed, and then you get a total time for all of them. I was able to do it in 3 minutes and 7 seconds and just nick that one. So with a bit of practice, that one won't be too tricky. And then I had to go to the second one and was 7 seconds over, and then I thought, oh, 7 seconds ain't too hard to make up, and then I was way over when I then tried to make it up the next time round. But anyway, I would absolutely, if you're a completionist, I would absolutely dodge this one. As you'll see, there's rare achievements aplenty with low percentage unlocks. And to be honest with you, I kind of recommend the game. it's unfortunately not that fun. I mean, if you've got 5 friends that have actually all got this game, you can all get online. Look, there's an easy 200G achievement you can pop out of this. Maybe I could try and track some people down to play this game with, but I don't really want to because it's not that good a game, unfortunately. It is a game I bought a long time ago. It was less than £2. Unfortunately, it's less than £2 that was wasted. Okay, above that, my saviour for the month in getting a completion. I could have gone a whole of September without getting a completion if this hadn't popped up on the Windows 10 store. Having done it before, I know I could do it again. So I did do it again, but this isn't easy. It will take a few attempts on each mode. It'll take a lot of patience as well. I used a character called Ben 10 like I did before. No, it wasn't a young boy from a cartoon series. It was actually a female character with a very large sword. There's no digits in her name. It's literally B-E-N-T-E-N, all one word, no gaps that I used, and I spammed forward and Y. That eventually got me through most modes. I did switch to another character which was called Chi-Chi, and another word, it eludes me, sorry, but it is basically the only character that is twins, so it's two young girls, so you can't actually miss them. So I used an attack with her in one mode, I think in the caravan mode, because it was a lot quicker, which is forward and B. So I used the twins in caravan mode, forward B, and used the other character in all other modes, forward and Y. The good one about that uppercut is if you manage to get them in the air, you can literally parry them and keep them in the air and finish the round like that. Again, a lot of attempts taken in caravan mode, a lot of attempts taken in high score mode with those two characters, and in the original mode I remembered what I did before. I completed the game and it wasn't enough points for the top marker, so when I got to the semi-boss Behemoth, I kept winning one round and then kept losing the other 2 rounds, but getting as many hits as I can before I lost, because your score does not get lost if you die. So if you continue, your score remains. So that way, it takes ages to chip away. I literally had to get 150,000 chipping away for a couple of hours, but it was the only way I could get it easily. Also, do not put it on level 1. It's tempting to put it on level 1 and think you're making it easy for you, but the computer blocks even more on level 1. So I actually left it on level 4. Lost a lot of rounds, but that was fine because that gives me a chance to then chip up my score again, because you don't lose your score for continuing. So be prepared to put a lot of time in this. Get frustrated, so you will need a lot of patience as well. But thankfully it was there, and I'd done it before, so I could do it again. So Ragnargard was my only completion for September, and a saviour of going a month without one. Above that we have Ink, which is a very interesting platformer with, unfortunately it turned out to be, the controls are very frustrating. The block that you are turned out to be very slippy a lot, and very difficult to control. However, every time you double jump, you sort of spray ink everywhere, and it will reveal the platforms that you cannot see. You basically start on a dark screen. You can see enemies if they're there, but you basically start on a dark screen. So you do a double jump, flick some ink around, and that'll reveal your platforms perhaps. Great concept, but unfortunately the delivery was just a little bit off for me. I got a few achievements. I managed to finish the first world and defeat the first world boss, which is an achievement. Defeat 300 enemies along the way, because you will die a lot in this, so they are cumulative. There's never been one run. So I defeat 300 enemies along the way. I've managed to find 5 of the secret coins, and there's an achievement for 10 and 20 as well. I started the second one, I got a little way into it, but I just had enough of it and wanted to move on from there. Did get one negative achievement, which I don't know what it's for, in only the second level or so. I think it's dying so many times within one level, but you'll get a 10G achievement for just basically starting the game and finishing the first level, which is super easy. There is a 50G achievement for dying 500 times, and after deciding I had enough of the game, I elastic banded the left thumbstick across so that my character would just keep dropping off the edge on the level that I was on, and eventually the 500G, 500G, that'd be nice. The 50G achievement for dying 500 times would pop, but 170G in probably what was about 2 hours-ish gameplay. I say, great concept, just didn't quite deliver with the controls, unfortunately. Just found it a little bit slippery, but for the completionists, avoid this, by the way, because there are achievements for defeating Worlds 1 without dying at all in one run. Same for Worlds 2 and Worlds 3, and that is super hard. Congratulations if you're the under 1% that has managed to get the Worlds 2 and 3, and if you're under 2% that has managed to finish the World 1, congratulations. Sims arcade game, delisted from the Xbox 360 Live Store, sadly, ages ago. Just fancied the game, have played it. that is all. Obviously, a great way of finding time to play games when you can't be at home much is mobile games, and Microsoft Wordament is a game that I just kind of got bored of and then kind of forgot about it. Could have actually had the completion by now, but I stuck with it. So I've started playing through the worlds again, because if you finish 12 worlds, that's a 100 year achievement. I haven't quite got that yet. I'm nearly at the end of world 11, but when I revisited this game, I was nearly at the end of world 8 and on level 78 with regards to XP and stuff like that. And I got the 55 achievement for reaching the expert level, which is basically getting to level 80. And I'm not far off getting the finished 12 worlds ones now, so that'll be another 100 year achievement, putting me on 895. You should see that in the next video. The other ones are all to do with getting the medals at the end of every month, so unfortunately I haven't been keeping up with that because I got a little bit bored of the game and just ended up putting it to one side and forgetting about it. So I need to kind of start hitting those so that I can get the completion on this one eventually. I need more bronze, silver and gold ones, so I will keep on with that. I do speak about this in great length at the end of January part 1, so do feel free to check that video out if you want to learn more about this. However, the monthly puzzles have changed since then, and there are 3 puzzles a day, and it takes a lot more time, unfortunately. Okay, so I thought I'd finish the month off with playing ACA Neo Geo Blazing Star, and that was, I just thought playing an ACA Neo Geo game is always a good way to boost your game score up a little bit. There's always a certain amount of cheats which ain't too bad. The 580 I've got out of this is pretty much every easy achievement and every achievement which can become easy with a little bit of practice. Now, I ended up being a ship called Naomi, which is if you flick down all the way to the bottom one and then go up one, that's where you'll find it. Because every time you need to learn to, or it's not hard to learn, but you need to charge up your shots and release with the power bar, and that creates a little combo and that will boost your score up. And I realised that with Naomi, that was the one that was getting the most from boosting from her power-ups of her laser. So I used that a lot, and that was able to get me all 3 point margins in the caravan mode. I was able to nip the bottom one out of the high score mode, which was 500,000, and register it. The top one in caravan mode is 600,000. And so on. The bottom one in original mode is 2 million. Now, I do actually think I can probably cheese those achievements out of the game by just continually creating save data. Literally do a bit without dying, create save data, but obviously do well enough in it as well. It is possible by picking that Naomi character to get anywhere between 150,000 and 190,000, I think was the best I'd done out of the first level. But if you do pick any of the other ships, under 100,000 nearly every time. So that's why I like to pick her. The shoot button is X, and pressing and holding it, as I say, will do this power up, and if it hits multiple enemies you'll see a little multiplier go through them. But I like my side scrolling shooters, and that's what it is. So I was quite happy to spend a bit of time in this game, and I had a lot of fun with it. Now above that is Gears Pop. That's there because I logged into it today. I did get a few more achievements out of that along the way. It's a free download. It's can get quite a few achievements out of it just by playing it and progressional and not spending money. If you pay to play, obviously you're going to absolutely smash loads of achievements out of that. So I picked up a couple more for just getting 20 pins. I think last time I spoke about some on my last video. I had 19, so I was 1 short of that. I've leveled up past 5. I'm nearly at level 10, and that's an achievement. I managed to earn 20,000 coins, which is the middle marker of getting coins. So I think I got a war chest titled achievement. There's 20G for that, and the odd miscellaneous one here and there as well. As I say, a lot of it is just through playing the games in different modes. As I say, you need to join a crew, which is free to join, and the problem there with the horde mode is actually finding someone online to play with. So persevere with that. There are horde mode achievements. So it's my only gripe there. I just wish there was a way of playing it publicly rather than having to join a crew and then relying on other people being online at the same time, and the crews are limited to 50, so you're one of 49 other people need to be online at the same time as you. But that's my only real gripe with the game. But apart from that, it's actually a lot of fun. You don't need to even know or like Gears to play it. So a couple of more achievements did get popped in that, so that is on 335 at the moment, so expect to be a little bit higher in the next video. So ladies and gentlemen, that is what I picked up the second half of September. So thank you for watching. Any questions about any game, past or present, please throw it in the comment section below. I do reply to all comments as soon as I can. So with that, yes, please just like. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, please consider doing so. And then finally, I think, as always, that just leaves me to say, take care.